If you're thinking about buying new fairway woods this winter, there is one big mistake that I see from 99% of golfers. And if you want to hit fairway shots and shots off the tee just like the ones on screen, then you need to think about what club you are putting in there and what other options you might go for. Hey guys, if you are new to the channel, then welcome to this YouTube channel. If you want to hit that subscribe button and help us on that journey to 50,000. And guys, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, I hope you're enjoying the content at the moment. But today we are talking about fairway woods. We are thinking about what do you need to put into your bag going into 2025 to help you lower your scores, enjoy your golf that little bit more. And maybe when you lose confidence with the driver, you've got that club that you can go to, hit down the middle and still lower those scores. And guys, we know that we need one man for this job, and that is mid-handicap Dave. And you'll see in here we have an array of 5-wood. So 5-wood is the club we are talking about today, Dave. You have gone for the 5-wood in your bag. You've removed your 3-wood because you didn't get on with your 3-wood.
It was kind of, I didn't get on with it, but I found it was a decent go-to if my driver wasn't working, which obviously happens on a fairly regular basis. But I really struggled with it off the fairway, and I think that's because my club head speed isn't really fast enough for a 3-wood. So I've looked at a few YouTube channels, etc., and it seems that 5-wood was the right way to go. It's worked for me. If there's a couple of tight holes where I play, so I can go to that, I can expect to hit it about 200-ish yards, and then that's not too bad, but at least it's straight down the middle.
Yeah, and today we are on the 3rd hole here at Waterfront, and you'll see by the flyover a very narrow start, but it's not driver on here, it is a wood for Dave, and Dave's going to go with a 5-wood. First up, we are going to go for the Ping Max G430. So again, all these woods in here are the forgiving range. Again, we do have a GT2. Unfortunately, we didn't have any other forgiving ones in there, but a GT2 Titleist, a fantastic club. But you can see we've got plenty of options, and all of them will sit different behind the golf ball, Dave, and all will offer something different. And this is where obviously we're testing today to see which one you think is the best. Yeah. We're also going to be jumping in the studio and seeing which performance-wise hits you a few more greens maybe on the Golf Zone simulator. But this is a club where obviously you're going to use it not only off the tee, Dave, but like you said, you're more comfortable with a 5-wood off the fairway into maybe those par 5s, into those long par 4s, or even maybe on a par 3.
Yeah, and there's, as you say, there's sometimes you come across a par 3 that's sort of 200 yards-ish. I'm never going to get there with an iron. Possibly if I hit a 3 rescue very, very well, it'll get there, but that should be there, if not just a little bit long. Yeah,
perfect. Right, let's get the first one away here. Ping G430. Again, behind the ball, Dave, how does it sit?
It looks really nice. You can see a fair bit of the face, which tends to give you a little bit of confidence.
Yep. So you can see the loft on there. You don't then have to think you're trying to help this up. And these are things to look at, guys. Obviously, different woods will have different effects on the face, so maybe give you that little bit more confidence. And these longer clubs is what you need. And that is a fantastic shot, Dave. Again, sound and feel? The ball flight was fantastic.
It felt lovely. I'm quite surprised at that. I wasn't expecting that to go quite as well.
Yeah, and we haven't tested many fairway woods, and that's why the title of this video is finding that perfect fairway or the best fairway wood, because it's all about this time of the season. You're going to be thinking about getting something new. Potentially there's a lot of new clubs going to be coming out, but obviously what club do you need to actually go and get fitted for? So next up, Dave, is
the Titleist.
Titleist. So again, down behind the golf ball, certainly a different look.
Yeah, nice, but it's typical Titleist, nice and shiny, teardrop sort of head.
Yeah.
You can still see a good bit of the face.
Yeah.
Looks to be kicked in slightly. I don't know if it is.
A little bit closed maybe. Yeah. And this is where obviously some clubs can sit that even just naturally. They might sit a little bit closed just to help maybe those people who slice the golf ball. Again, it's all how it feels to you. So again, a very similar regular shaft in here. Regular shafts in all of these fairway woods for Dave. Again, getting the right shaft is huge. A little bit of a draw, so it was closed in a little bit, but again, a fantastic ball flight, Dave.
That felt nicer than the Ping, if I'm honest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We haven't tried this GT range.
Yeah.
Again, the driver we haven't tried, which we are going to be getting on the channel, because I've recently tried the GT driver and it felt fantastic, to be honest.
I've said on other videos about different clubs that the sound doesn't bother me if it works, but that did sound better than the Ping.
Okay, interesting. So next up, Dave, which are we going to go? Are we going to go Cobra, TaylorMade or Tacomo? We know what your Tacomo does.
As you said Cobra first, I'll go Cobra, Chris.
Okay, this is the Cobra X Dark Speed. So again, we know there has been rumours of new clubs coming out, which we know it's every year in January. But the Cobra, let's have a quick look what we're saying. So again, a matte finish on there.
Yeah,
A little bit bigger.
It looks bigger and flatter than the Titleist.
Yeah, so a little bit of a shallower face. So again, that's one thing with Titleist, a deeper face. Again, a very shallow face on the Ping, and this is where it depends on your strike pattern, but that could have an effect on which one you go for. So these are all things to consider in getting and trying those clubs, guys. And all these clubs are here at Waterfront Golf, so if you're looking for a fitting, head down and see Kyle this winter and get the perfect clubs for you next year.
Not the best strike.
No, a little bit low on the face, Dave.
Yeah, but not, you know, not terrible. It wasn't going massively right or left.
No, and that might have just crept to the fairway.
Yeah,
so again,
it wasn't the best. I was low there, wasn't I?
yeah. And was that because now you've gone from that deeper face in the tights? Do you think obviously that was a little bit off-putting for you?
Possibly, yeah.
So let's go now TaylorMade. So TaylorMade, when we put this down, you'll see that this is extremely big in comparison. So again, if we compare it to those three, that is the biggest head. Again, a relatively deeper face maybe potentially than the Cobra, but it's still obviously not the same as the Titleist, which is interesting. When we get to your Tacomo, that is very similar towards the Titleist. So again, we know that Dave's had his 5-wood. It's been his go-to club when he has struggled a little bit with driver or on certain narrow holes. This, Dave, behind the golf ball, does it look extremely big?
It does. It does compared to the others, yeah. Yeah, it does. I like the shape of it though. Yeah, shape is nice. And again, this is designed obviously for forgiveness, so the bigger head we can spread out the weight, we can get you a little bit more forgiveness on those toe to heel shots, and also maybe get you a little bit of launch. And interesting, a fantastic towering draw there, Dave, but double the height of the other clubs. Yeah. Yeah, so a longer head. I'm really surprised as to how high that went. And it seems to, I mean, we'll find out when we get down there, but it looks a good distance as well.
Yeah, but let's get to your Tacomo. So this is the club that you've had in your bag for a long time now, for a couple of seasons. So again, you're used to this club. Again, price-wise, we'll go through price points when we get inside, but Dave's giving it a bit of a spring.
Needs it, I didn't realise that.
Spring clean, Dave.
How I got that?
Can't put that on the camera, you know, dirty clubs, unbelievable. But if we look, again,
it's slightly smaller than the TaylorMade.
Yeah, again, carbon look on top.
Yeah.
A nice matte finish on there.
Yeah.
And these are the things to consider. Obviously the Titleist is very traditional for having that gloss finish on the top, looks very sleek. A lot of clubs have gone to the carbon tops, just like Tacomo have, like Ping have.
And the thing about the Tacomo is that the grooves are white, so you get to see more of them when...
Yep, so let's see that behind the golf ball, Dave. So again, like we've said, we can certainly see that down behind the golf ball, can see the face there, can see the loft, and that can give you confidence in not trying to help that ball up. Opposite, it could put you off a little bit, so this is all the things you need to think about. And exactly what we've seen.
Very similar to the TaylorMade.
Yeah, a little bit higher than the Ping and the Titleist. Let's get down there and see which has gone the furthest, Dave. So Cobra is, again, a mistrike 30 yards behind the collection of balls there. There is also one just there. So we'll pick this up, but that could have been with any club, Dave. Obviously a mistrike, obviously.
Wasn't the club, definitely me.
So we've got Titleist up the left here. So that one is just there. We can tell it's winter because you can hardly see the golf balls, but that is there. And then we have a nice collection of three right here. So Dave, you just looked, which one is which?
Those two that are very close together.
Yep.
That's the TaylorMade and the Tacomo,
Okay.
and the far one is the Ping, I believe.
Ping. So the Ping G430 Max takes the lead out here. Let's get inside. Okay, so inside now, Dave is starting with that Ping, which was the furthest outside as we saw, Dave.
It was, yeah. Decent. It was good flight. Not quite as high as the Tacomo and the TaylorMade, but still a good flight.
Yeah, and you said you wasn't sure on the sound after hitting the Titleist, but let's see what we're doing here. So again, we're going to hit a couple of shots with each wood into this green. We've got this set at 180 yards, which is exactly what Dave would be playing out on the golf course with this. Let's see. A higher trajectory certainly in here, Dave. A towering flight there. Carry 171, going 183, and it's on the green. Again, sound-wise, still thinking it's a different sound to what you're used to?
It's a little bit dull, but like I said before, if things work, I don't really mind what they sound like.
No, and it's interesting here, obviously Ping have had some woods in previous years that have had a bigger head, something similar to that TaylorMade down there, but this one still has a relatively compact look. And that's two picked up absolutely delightfully there. What is that one going to do? 161, 173. So on the green day, did you feel much difference in strikes between the two of those?
No.
Which is very interesting, where we've, again, a great ball flight, but it is dropped off 10 yards on carry, which is interesting. But let's go to the one that you enjoyed the most feel-wise, which was this Titleist GT2. And again, do you want to see us put Dave into the driver, see how he gets on with the Titleist driver? Because I know that we haven't tested that yet on the channel. Right, Dave. In you come. So this was your favourite outside. Again, sound-wise, flight-wise was similar to the Ping, a lower ball flight, a nice little draw. What will
interesting that the ball flight indoors has not been as low as it was outside.
No, and this is where obviously inside, when we do testing, this is why we like to do it inside and out, because there's a bit more pressure outside when you're on that tough tee box on the third hole here at Waterfront. There's a bit more pressure, Dave.
Yeah. Ooh, awful shot. Drop kick, Chris.
Drop kick, and this is why he doesn't mind in here. So not a great strike, Dave. And again, if you catch it that far behind with any of these clubs, we know what's going to happen. Let's see one more there. Good routine. Again, think about it. And guys, we are trying to get Dave's handicap down, so we are putting it on the channel how he's going to improve this winter. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see that.
Much better.
Much better strike, straight towards the flag. A lower ball flight, interesting there than the Ping.
Yeah. And it stops reasonably quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, nice amount of spin on there, 5,000 there. We can see that again, club head speeds bang on at 89, 174 carry, stopping at 182. That plays on the golf course, Dave. So in the summer, you might get that out to 200, obviously with a bit of run.
Well, if that's on a fairway, you know, greens tend to be a little bit softer, don't they?
Yeah,
so but on a fairway, that's going to be running out to 109 to 190, I'd say.
Yeah, and even onto the green there, that's stopping. So outside next, you can see that it's winter. We went to the Cobra Dark Speed X, which is certainly been cleaner. We will clean that to put that back in the fitting carts here at Waterfront. But not the best strike on this one, Dave, and just like any strike that was poor, it didn't go as far.
No. And it's not going to, is it?
No, and we've just seen that from the Titleist. If you don't catch it great, it's always going to lose some distance. Interesting. Similar.
That's a similar shot to what I played out there.
Again, forgiveness-wise, it's gone 152, gone 170, but it very much seems like, is there something in this, Dave, you don't like because it doesn't suit your eye? Again, very similar to your Tacomo from the top, but it's one of those things. It's is it one that you don't get on with? Again, could it be the shaft? We have got all regular shafts in here, and this is where obviously it's important when you go fitting. It could be the shaft that's having the effect, Dave. Obviously, we also know it could just be Dave.
A bit of a drop kick.
Let's see, forgiveness-wise.
But
again,
It's fine, is that?
a total loss right there, but still carried 160. So forgiveness-wise, I believe the club is doing exactly what we would expect.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting forgiveness. It is obviously the more forgiving head from Cobra. It's not the Dark Speed LS, but now we have the QI10 Max. So the biggest one of the lot, again, oh, this one's a little bit higher, so 19 degrees, interesting. The others are 18 degrees. No adjustability, Dave. So that's one of these, you buy in it, it's 19 and it's 19 only, which I don't think is a bad thing because a lot of people like to tinker, don't they, Dave?
They do.
Including yourself.
Sometimes it's the worst thing in the world to give somebody like me one of those wrenches.
It is. So let's see what this does. This had the highest ball flight. This was one of the longest ones out there. It was also in the fairway. So let's see what
it's
it
a nice
can...
looking driver.
Yeah, which is interesting because it is the biggest head.
Driver. It's a nice looking 3.5 wood.
Yeah, good start, Dave. I missed that as well. So interesting.
Still high.
A little bit left. Nice towering flight.
Yeah.
180 going 190. So a little bit of a pull, I would say. Spin still good. So 4,700. Club head speed very similar, but getting that little bit more distance and launch, Dave. So very interesting there with this club. Towering flight,
very similar, maybe
a little
just
bit of a
slightly
draw.
right.
Again, 173 running out to 185. So certainly the longest, Dave. Very interesting there that it's the longest, it's the biggest head of the bunch. But this is where, guys, you have to think. From this distance, would you be hitting the green? Mid-handicap golfers, you're more than likely going to be missing the green. Again, tour average would have it outside 40 feet from here. So again, don't beat yourself up, but those are just next to the green. If this is a long par 4, a long par 5, Dave's got a great chance of getting up and down.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the green percentage over all of the 5 woods there is still 50%, which for a mid-handicap is decent.
I would say that's above average for your handicap, Dave. So again, we start to beat ourselves up. You think, I pulled that one a little bit, but again, stats-wise, that would be getting your handicap down.
So this is the Tacomo.
Tacomo to finish, so this is the one that has been in the bag now for a good year or two.
Yep.
Let's see what this one can do. And again, very much like we have seen for the last 2 years with this 5 wood.
Oh,
it's on the edge, it's on the line, ref. Oh, not an excellent, Dave.
they've got an excellent
it's playing hard to get. But exactly what we've seen,
yeah,
Dave. You know, you like the shaft. Again, you bought this. This is a direct-to-consumer. It actually wasn't fitted. We had a regular shaft from Tacomo's range, and it performed well. And this is where you've got use of the feel, the weight of this, Dave.
It's, as I've said before, it's kind of my go-to club if the driver's not playing. Obviously, that can never be me, so I have to change the club. So if the driver's not playing games on any particular day, or if it's a particularly tight hole, then I'll take this out.
Right, let's go one more. Can we get 100% accuracy with the Tacomo and get those averages up from these 10 shots?
Bit of pressure. Not like that.
And that is the pressure getting today. So mid-strike, still got over the water, better than the Titleist, obviously, but not your best swing. No, down at 50%, yeah, but a very interesting test, Dave.
Yeah. Reasonably forgiving, though, considering how bad that swing was.
Yeah, and out of these 5, obviously, which would you have as your number 1 if you was going to pick here? You didn't have a club, you tested those 3, or 5 even, outside and in here. Which one would you be favouring towards? Would you be sticking or would you be changing?
I'd probably go with the TaylorMade.
Interesting. So, QI10 wins it, guys. Which one have you got? Which one are you looking at? And what do you want to see this man test next?